Hello everybody and welcome back to Loona album rankings, part 2. If you didn't watch part 1, there will be a link in the description for you to watch part 1. This is going to be a big part series where I'm going to be reviewing the albums and ranking them before Loona debuts, And so today we are going to be doing the whole Loona 1/3 subunit. And you're probably thinking, why don't you just separate Love and Live and Love&Evil as different albums? Because since Love&Evil is a repackage, it has all the same songs of Love and Live with extra songs. So therefore, I make it a bigger album type of thing. Like, it's a repackage and it's, a bigger album. It's got the same songs, but it's got new songs that affect the album's score. So I consider Love&Evil like the big main, I consider it the big main album, of course Love and Live was the album that came before, but technically that's just an album with lesser songs. So if it's a repack, I'm just going to be counting Loona, Love and Live inside Loona, Love and Evil. So yeah, so this is Loona 1/3's album ranking review. So I hope that you enjoy. Okay, so obviously, if you saw part 1, I'm playing my favorite songs first. So you probably will know which one this is. This is my absolute favorite song on this whole entire album, by the way. Fairytale is an underrated Loona song, okay? But, yeah. Basically, I'm gonna put Love and Live, the album, instead of Love&Evil, since Love&Evil is technically the repackage. It's just the old album with new songs. So Love&Evil is going to be the score of the album. Okay? Like, all the songs from that is going to be the score of the album. Love and Live is not a separate album to me. If it's a repack, then it means it's a repackaged album that needed more songs. So, while we enjoy Fairytale, let's talk about each of the songs. Into the New Heart is an intro a lot of people like, but I'm not that big of a fan of it just because I feel like it's misleading. Because literally, I understand having an intro that's gonna, be different and shocking, but literally Into the New Heart doesn't even match up with any of the other songs on the album. And I feel like it could have been unique, but it also needed to kind of fit the concept. I still like it. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. And it was that way first impression-wise, too. I like it. And it's good to me, but it's just not really fitting on this album as a whole. I really like the rock and roll stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad song itself. But I feel like in the context of this album, since I take everything in an album, to a T, single albums I'm a bit more liberal with, because of course they're going to be 2 completely different types of songs. There's only 2, so I have a little more leeway with that. But if it's an album, I expect it to, while it may I don't mind if they derail from their the concept of the actual title track and stuff. But go into different genres, but still have it to where it's not super in your face, bam, it's a different genre. You know what I mean? Have different genres, but have it kind of fit on the album. Have it be a little bit cohesive. It doesn't even have to be completely cohesive. But just a little bit for me is enough. So Into the New Heart gets a 6 out of 10 for me. It's, good, but I just think in the cohesiveness of this album, it's, the one that's super off because it's just super out there, but I still like it. Love and Live. Go Go Shippa. I really like Love and Live. And when I first heard it, I thought it was kind of basic. I was like, okay, it's a vibe, it's alright. But the more that you listen to Love and Live, even though it is kind of a basic song, it gets addicted to you. You get addicted to it, and there's different parts in it that I wouldn't have expected, But, the thing about Love and Live is that while I think it is an 8 out of 10, it's amazing, it's grown on me so much, I still don't find it stellar because it's not anything new. It's just something that Loona put their own little tiny twist on, but it wasn't that different from a lot of stuff coming out at the time. And also, just when I heard it, it's just one of the least unique Loona songs, in my opinion. And it's not basic in the way where it's like, oh my god, I love it so much I want to die. It's more basic as in like, oh, you know, she's good, she's amazing, but she's not like stellar or out of this world. So for me, Love and Live is an 8 out of 10. Hey, but you should be grateful that it didn't stay at a 5, where it was just alright. It was alright. Like, you know, it's amazing to me now. I really love Love and Live. And I think a lot of people underestimate it simply because of its concept. So then we have You and Me Together. When You and Me Together came out, I thought it was a great song. I thought it was like at a 7. I really like the disco type of vibe that it has to it. But the more you listen to You and Me Together, the more you're like, why was this not the title track? No offense, but when Love and Live first came out, or whatever, when I listened to You and Me Together after, you know, I had just listened to Love and Live, because like I said, I came into the fandom late, but You and Me Together just sounded so much better to me. I love the disco-y vibes, but it's still cute. It still fit the concept that they had going on, and I felt like that should have been the title track more than Love and Live. Because, you know, the way that Love and Live presents itself, it's just one of the more unoriginal Loona songs to me. It's not that it's bad, or that it doesn't have some unique flares to it. It's just not really there as much as some other Loona tracks that I've seen. So, for me, You and Me Together went from being just a 7 to being a 9 out of 10. Because it's a very stellar song. Like, I can groove to that song as much as I want. It's not a 10 because I didn't like it as a 10 right away, like I said. But, like, yeah. Now we're going to talk about Fairytale, which was the first song that I played. Fairytale is my absolute favorite on this album. I know a lot of people pick Son of Time, or Love and Evil, or, you know, they pick Rain 51 DB, or Valentine Girl. But for me, that bitch is Fairytale. Fairytale is my bitch, okay? I love that song so much. Like, when we were listening to it, I was getting distracted by how pretty it was. Fairytale is just so simple, but their voices are so unique that when it goes on the track, it's nice. You know, sometimes you need simple stuff for it to be your favorite song sometimes. Sometimes you don't need to go extravagant, because sometimes simple just works, and I feel like it worked really well. All their voices flowed so well. It was literally just a music box type of thing with a piano, and I really loved it. I give that a 10 out of 10. Fairytale is underrated. Go listen to it. It's so pretty. Such a beautiful song. Valentine Girl is, you know, very cute, very preppy, you know, very poppy. Loona 1/3 is very bubblegum pop when it comes to the Love and Live side of the album. When it comes to, like, the, when it comes to the, other side of the album, it's not as bubblegum poppy, but, like, I really loved the I really loved Valentine Girl. When I first got into it, it was an 8 for me, like, it was amazing, but now it's become stellar to me, too, because there's just certain things about it that I didn't notice that actually make it a really, like, stellar song. So I give that a 9 out of 10. This is a good song. Now we're gonna be moving on to Love and Evil. It's a 10 out of 10 intro. It's perfect. It sets the whole tune for the new songs that are on there, which are more serious and soulful. And Sonatine, since it's the song right after it, it's dramatic and it matches Sonatine's tone perfectly. Like, Love and Evil is a better intro to me than Into the New Heart, simply because Into the New Heart kind of didn't really go into Love and Live as well as it could have. And it just didn't fit when you compare it to the whole album. I feel like Love and Evil did a better job, you know, transitioning into Sonatine, since it was, you know, the intro for it. And since Sonatine was right after. So, for me, Love and Evil is a really good intro. Like, for me, it's hard for Loona to fuck up their intros. Like, their intros have all been pretty good. You know, like, they've all been out of this world. And it's such an out of this world intro because it just takes you into this dramatic world and you're like, oh shit, bitch, the fuck? I don't know. That's how I feel. But now we're moving on to Sonatine. That's a 10 out of 10. When I first heard Sonatine, I was like, oh my god, why wasn't this the first one that dropped? Even though Sonatine did worse than Love and Live. Like, the fuck? Sonatine deserves so much better. Like, it deserved to get to 1 million views faster than what it did. It deserved everything. You know, like, it's such a nice, amazing song that I'm just so shocked that people wouldn't want to, like, listen to it because it's so unique. It's got, like, the whole, Italian type breakdown to it, but it's like unique and comes in the song. It sounds like something that Disney would make, and I love Disney songs, like from movies and stuff. They all look stunning, but not talking MV wise, their vocals are amazing in that song, and they put the perfect vocal parts with the perfect places in the song, like Hustle getting a lot of the chorus, and then Vivi and Hyunjin getting more of the airier, you know, lighter parts. It was perfect. They just did the musical arrangement so well, and I love it a lot. Now, when you look at Rain, 51 dB, that was a song that was repackaged with it in just all versions. Rain 51 dB I think is a good song, but I feel like it's a little overhyped by some Loona 1/3 stans. No offense. I mean, I'm a Loona stan, so I stan Loona 1/3. Don't get me wrong when I said Loona 1/3 stans. But, like, there's people that prefer their music more than the other two subunits, which is completely fine. We all have our preferences. But as someone who's going to be honest, Rain 51 dB to me wasn't really anything super amazing when I first got into it. But it slowly grew on me as time went on. And so it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I think it's amazing, but I don't think it's stellar or out of this world because it just sounds like a karaoke song. But because it's a karaoke song, I like to bop to it. So it's amazing. It's an amazing song. I like the karaoke vibes that it's got, but it's not my absolute favorite. You know? Now, so now we're going to be talking about the remixes, which are only with the limited edition physical version, I think. But, you know, people obviously leak the audio online. So I like, the Love and Live remix, and I actually think it's better than the title track, like the way that they did it. It's just so much, like, it's the funky vibes, when you add them in, there's just something that adds to Love and Live, when you add those funky ass vibes. So for me, I think that it's a 9 out of 10, because it improved on the original. It wasn't my favorite song on the album, and it didn't blow me out of this world, but it made the song stellar for me. Like, Love and Live was amazing, but now it became stellar and fantastic, and just well produced, and like it was already well produced, but it became even more well produced. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, don't hate me. Now, we're gonna go to the You and Me Together remix, which is the final song off of the Love and Evil album, and like. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, the You and Me Together remix, like, You and Me Together was already a good, like, a stellar song, and I was like, how are they going to make it better? When the moment you add, like, even more disco vibes into it and make it super jamming, oh yeah. I love disco vibes. And You and Me Together was just the perfect song to have those lyrics and that flow to where it could work for disco. It is a 10 out of 10 when I first heard it. I recommend the remixes of Love and Live and You and Me Together more than I do the originals. Which usually doesn't happen because usually I hate remixes. But you know what? We all have something new that we need to try. So, with all of that in mind, all the songs add up to 89. And since there's 10, that's 100. 89 out of 100 is obviously 89%. So this album is a good solid B+. Like, I really liked it. Especially compared to most of the, solos that I had heard so far already. So yeah. Now we're going to move on to Vivi, because I wanted to do Loona, Love, and Live first. But since Loona, Love, and Evil is the repack, I decided to just get Loona 1/3 out of the way and then do Vivi, since she was technically introduced after Love and Live. Yeah. We're now playing my favorite Vivi song off of her single album, Every Day I Love You. What a shocker. This song is underrated. I don't care what anyone says. Out of the whole Loona discography, I feel like this one is super underrated for what it is. First of all, it's a retro song. But it reminds me of, like, something that SES would put out, or, like, something that, like, a cute little, like, 90s diva star would put out, like, in the 90s. It's groovy, but, it's still sweet and stuff. So, like, I really don't know why people would hate on this song, because 90s music is pretty good, in my opinion. And so, like, I grew up listening to a lot of 90s and early 2000s music, because I was born in 1999, but, like, I listened to 2000s music, but I also listened to the 90s music that was coming out at the time. So the 90s has a special place in my heart. But, like, the way that this song flows, first of all, her voice is perfect for it. The way she sings over this instrumental, it fits so well with the song. Like, I don't know why people call Vivi's voice awful or ugly, because it's beautiful. Her vocal color is very unique, and I think it has a lot of potential if she trains more in speaking Korean, because, like, I know she's learned a lot more. But as long as she gets even more, I feel like she'll go really far with her vocal tone and her vocal talents, because I really like it, and I wish that BBC would show it off a bit more, because it's a very unique voice, and I think that it's very well done, especially in this song. So Every Day I Love You is a 10 out of 10, because when I first heard this song, I was like, oh my god, it's a bop, it's such a groove, oh my god, and I was blown out of this world mainly for her vocal. Like, I'm pretty sure this song would have been with any of the other girls. It wouldn't have worked, because she's just got the perfect voice for this type of, like, song styling. I love the synth in this one. I like the little, like, also, Hustle. I'm gonna take a break for Hustle. What a girl. I want you to be me. To want me. Why did I say be want me? What the fuck? But yeah, I also love the message of the song and how she, like, reflects on it. It's a 10 out of 10 when I first got into it. It's still a 10 out of 10. I don't get tired of the song. It's so underrated. Like, listen to it more. Give it more of a chance, bitch. Okay, come on. Now, Every Day I Need You is kind of different. It's the same situation where Vivi. Vivi. Vivi slowed down basically the original song and put, like, it in an acoustic, not really acoustic, but more of a slower, smoother type of style, kind of like how they did it with Heejin's Vivid. And, since I already loved the original so much for what it was, I was kind of disappointed when I heard it. Because, Every Day I Need You just doesn't replicate the same feeling that I get when I listen to Every Day I Love You. Second of all, Jinsul's rapping that song was a little awkward to me. Because it was like, I don't know, I thought Hustle would have done it. And it would have made a little more sense. I feel like Jinsul's rapping style didn't really fit that song. As a lot of people like to do. To me, it just didn't fit that type of song. Especially since it was super slow. She came in, like, really intense and deep. And so, while I like the rap a little bit, it's not my favorite, especially when you compare it to the original Hustle rap. And then, another thing is that Vivi just, I don't know, like, her vocals in that song are great, but I just don't like how it was slowed down, because the original was already fine. So, I'm gonna give Vivi's album 17 out of 20, which is an 85, which is another B. We have an A from Hustle, but most of Loona 1/3's discography for me is like B, in the B range, because while I like it, I think that, they just have songs that I just don't go back to listen to that often. And it's not saying that I don't stand them, because they do have songs that I can go back to often. Like Fairytale, Kiss Later, fucking I'll Be There. All of them are every day I need you, not need you, I love you. Like, I love all those songs, and they're bops that I like to go back to. But I just think, for me personally, they're just not as strong of a cup of tea for me as some of the other future ones. You'll kind of be surprised on which subunit's whole discography is my favorite, actually. So let's continue. Ah, yes, it's time for her. She has walked in. Eclipse. This is a song that got me into Loona. So I am going to have a bit of a bias to it, but not just for the reasons that you think. First of all, ViLip, yes, is my ultimate bias record, but we've proven earlier that with Hyunjin, just because it's an ultimate bias record doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to automatically go like, well, I automatically like the song. Like, no. This song is my bitch simply because it's R&B. And for me, R&B is like my favorite genre of music for the most part. This is one of my favorite Loona songs ever, because it's just the perfect R&B song. Her vocals are sweet and heavenly and honey-filled. They have some twists here and there. I love what they do with the synth in this song and the bass. And I like the way that the tempo is. Like, I love how it's slow, but it's not too slow. So it's like very chill, but it's still a bop. She slays it vocal-wise here. There's a lot of falsettos, self-harmonizations and stuff that she does in this song that make it magical. It's not just the instrumentation. Her voice is magical over this track, okay? I know some people don't like it, mainly because they either overplayed it or R&B is not their thing, and I understand that. But for me, an R&B hoe, I love this song to death. It's a 10 out of 10. It always has been. I've never gotten tired of this song, like, ever. This is a song that I can listen to over and over again, like, on repeat, like, 5 times, and not get tired of. And that's how I know it's a 10 out of 10, bitch. That's how I know when a song is a 10 out of 10. When I repeat it so much that I don't even get affected by it, but I still love it. I repeat it so much, and I still don't get tired of it. That's Eclipse. Eclipse is one of those songs for me, okay? It gives me feels. It gives me feelings that so many other songs can try to do, but some of them just can't replicate it. I can't. Now, Twilight is the other song on the album. Twilight is R&B as well. So I do like it a bit. But when you compare it to Eclipse, like, for me, it's got a lot of soul in it, but, like, it's very, like, deep and it's very somber. It's a somber R&B track. There's, like, a difference in tone, clearly. There's more piano used in that one. I'm doing the shoulder thing with her, by the way, because I know the song too well. Okay. But, Twilight, while I do think that it's a very stellar, fantastic song, I don't think it's out of this world amazing. I've heard a lot of songs like it, and I think there were a couple of awkward vocal parts in there, but other than that, the song is truly amazing too. So Twilight is a 9 out of 10 for me, and so ViLip gets a score of 19 out of 20, which is a 95. She gets a solid A. Her album gets a solid A. It's not an A+ like Hustle's, but it's a solid A, and I appreciate that. So now, we are at the end of part 2, because we no longer have any time in this episode of this series. I don't know why I'm calling it an episode. But this is part 2. This is the end of it. We ended on Eclipse, and I'm happy about that. And the next part, I'm going to try to get to Jin Soul Cherry and OEC's Max and Match album, since that's the repackage. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to watch part 1, link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!